Welcome to my channel where small coins tell big stories. If you love rare finds, hidden values, and the exciting world of Euro coin collecting, you're in the right place here. We explore Greek 20 Euro cent coins from different years, conditions, and varieties, and uncover how ordinary pocket change can turn into valuable collector treasures. From circulated dusty coins to extra fine examples, from common dates to surprisingly expensive pieces seen in today's auction market, every coin has a story and a value waiting to be discovered. If you're a beginner, a serious collector, or someone who just enjoys checking coins from daily change, this channel is made for you. So subscribe, stay curious, and let's dive together into the fascinating journey of Greek 20 Euro cent coins and their real market value. The 2024 Greek 20 Euro cent coin in extra fine circulated condition. Now, you might think that modern coins from 2024 wouldn't be worth much more than face value. But this particular coin has captured the attention of collectors around the world and has been selling for up to $450 in today's auction market. That's right, $450 for a coin that you might have thought was only worth 20 Euro cents. So what makes this 2024 Greek 20 cent coin so special? Why is it commanding such a high price? And what should you know if you happen to have one in your pocket change or your coin collection? Let's break it all down in clear, simple terms. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The Greek 20 Euro cent is part of the standard euro coinage used across the Eurozone, but like all euro coins, the national side, the Greek design, is unique to Greece. In 2024, a limited number of these coins were minted. What makes the 2024 issue stand out is a combination of relatively low mintage compared to other years, collector demand, and specific characteristics like minting errors or attractive toning that set certain examples apart. Experts in the coin world categorize coins on a scale from poor to uncirculated, and a coin in extra fine circulated condition means that while it has been used and shows some wear, the details are still sharp and very pleasing to the eye. Now let's talk about why this coin has become so desirable. The collector market is driven by rarity and demand. Even though millions of euro coins might be minted each year, only a tiny fraction end up being saved by collectors. Most are spent and eventually melted down or worn out. When a particular issue like the 2024 Greek 20 cent strikes a chord, whether because of limited release, a specific design variation, or an error, collectors start hunting for the best examples they can find. When demand rises and supply is limited, prices follow. That's basic economics, and that's exactly what we're seeing play out here. In today's auction market, coins are sold on online platforms, specialized dealer sites, and at live auctions. The condition of a coin is everything. A coin that is graded as extra fine means collectors see a lot of original detail. The relief of the design is clear, the lettering is sharp, and while there are some minor marks from circulation, nothing distracts from the coin's overall beauty. These details are carefully evaluated by professional grading services, and coins that meet those standards can fetch premium prices. So what does $450 actually mean in real terms? For perspective, that's over 2,200 times the coin's face value of 20 Euro cents. Most coins from 2024 are only worth face value or maybe $1 or $2 to a collector if they're common date or condition. But this Greek 20 cent has grabbed attention, and serious collectors are willing to pay high prices to add it to their collections. If you're someone who collects coins casually or you just came across this coin in your change, here's what to look for to determine whether you might have something valuable. Start by examining the design details. The Greek national side features the iconic figure and symbols chosen by the Greek mint. On a high-value example, these details should be crisp and clear, even if the coin has light wear. Look for any unusual marks, die errors, double strikes, or misalignments. These can sometimes increase value even more. Then compare it to reliable auction listings and recent sales to see what similar coins have actually sold for. Auction records and marketplace prices are the best real-world indicator of value at any given moment. It's also worth noting that coin values fluctuate. What's true today that the coin can sell for around $450 could change tomorrow based on market conditions, collector interest, or the discovery of more examples. But right now, in 2025 and moving into 2026, that $450 figure is a strong reflection of real auction results for high-quality, extra-fine circulated specimens. Now, let's imagine you're holding one of these coins. You've wiped away a bit of dust and you're staring at it with new eyes, knowing it might be worth hundreds of dollars. That's an exciting moment for any coin enthusiast. But remember, the key to realizing that value is proper identification, careful handling, and often professional grading if you plan to sell. Coins like this can be sensitive to scratches, cleaning, and damage. Those things can significantly reduce their market value. Next coin. The 2023 Greek 20 Euro cent coin in circulated extra fine condition, which right now is bringing up to $350 in today's auction market. That's right, a coin that originally had a face value of just 20 euro cents is now worth hundreds of dollars because collectors have recognized its rarity and demand. Imagine this. You're going through your pocket change, and you find a 2023 Greek 20-cent coin. At first glance, you think it's just another euro coin, something spent at grocery stores, transit machines, and cafes, but for collectors, this coin tells a very different story. It's not just currency, it's a collectible item with significant demand and a strong auction presence. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what makes this coin special, why it's worth up to $350, and what features you need to look for if you think you might have one. Let's start by understanding the basics. The euro coinage system is used across the Eurozone countries, and each member state mints coins with their own national side designs. Greece, with its rich heritage and mythology, has some of the most unique and beautiful designs on euro coins. The 20 euro cent coin from 2023 was released into circulation like any other, but something unusual happened. Collectors began to notice that certain examples of this coin were scarce, especially in higher conditions like extra fine. Collectors grade coins on a scale from poor to uncirculated. A coin in extra fine circulated condition means it has been used, but the details of the design are still sharp and clear. You might see light marks or small signs of wear, but overall the coin still looks attractive. That's important, because condition directly affects value. Even among rare coins, the ones that show the best detail and least wear are the most valuable. Now let's talk about why this particular coin has climbed in value to around $350. There are a few key reasons. First, limited availability. While millions of euro coins are produced every year, only a fraction are saved by collectors. Most are spent and eventually lost to circulation forever. When a specific year or minting ends up with fewer surviving high-quality examples, collectors compete for the ones that remain. That pushes the price up. Second, collector demand has grown. People love modern coins that are still affordable enough to hunt for, but also rare enough to be interesting. The 2023 Greek 20 euro cent fits that sweet spot. Modern enough that many people might have it in their change, rare enough in extra fine condition that serious collectors want it. The combination creates a situation where the market value becomes much higher than the face value. Now, let's break down what you should look for if you think you might have one of these. First, examine the design details closely. On the national side, the imagery should be sharp, clear lettering, defined relief, no major scratches that distort the design. In extra fine condition, you'll notice light wear on the high points of the design, but no major damage. The coin will still have a nice overall appearance. Next, compare what you see to images from reputable auction listings. Look for the shape of the numerals, the spacing of letters, and the fine lines in the design. Even small differences can affect value. Some coins might be more common, other examples might have specific qualities that collectors prize, such as slight variations in minting or exceptionally pleasing toning. Once you've identified a potential candidate, the next big step is grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins and assign a condition grade that buyers trust. If a 2023 Greek 20-cent coin in extra fine condition is professionally graded and certified, it can command a premium at auction compared to uncertified coins. Speaking of auctions, that's where this $350 figure comes from. Auction prices reflect real market demand, what buyers are actually willing to pay. In recent sales, 2023 Greek 20 euro cent coins in circulated extra fine condition have been selling around this mark in US dollars. That means people are actively bidding and paying up to $350 for these coins. That's a massive return compared to the original face value of 20 cents. It's also important to understand that these values can change. Coin markets can be influenced by trends, discoveries of more examples, shifts in collector interest, and broader economic conditions. So while $350 is a strong current market indicator, it's always good to check recent auction results if you're thinking about buying or selling. If you do have one of these coins, what should you do next? First, handle it carefully. Coins can lose value if they are scratched or cleaned improperly. Keep it in a protective holder, and consider getting it graded by a professional service. A certified coin with a solid grade can be dramatically more valuable in the eyes of buyers. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just stumbled across this coin in your wallet, this story is a perfect example of how modern coins can have surprising value. It shows that the world of coin collecting is alive and exciting, with real money on the line for the right pieces. Next coin. The 2007 Greek 20 euro cent coin in circulated extra fine condition, which is currently commanding around $300 in today's auction market. That's right, a coin with an original face value of just 20 euro cents is now worth hundreds of dollars because collectors want it. If you love coins, rare finds, or just stories about unexpected value, you're going to enjoy this. Imagine going through your pocket change and finding a coin from 2007. It's small, it's ordinary, and at first glance you might think it's nothing special. It was meant to be used, spent at markets, transit machines, and cafes. But because of a combination of rarity, collector interest, and condition, this particular Greek 20-cent coin has become something very different, a collectible with real value on the auction market. So why is this coin so valuable? First, let's talk about what the 2007 Greek 20-euro-cent coin actually is. All euro coins have two sides: the common side that's the same across the Eurozone, and the national side that shows a design unique to the issuing country. Greece chose a design that reflects its rich culture and history. Back in 2007, the Greek mint produced these coins for everyday use, just like all the other euro coins. But over time, something interesting happened. Collectors realized that there weren't that many high-quality examples of this coin left in circulation. When coins are used in everyday transactions, they inevitably wear down. Over the years, most 2007 coins have become worn, scratched, or lost entirely. But coins that survive in extra-fine circulated condition, meaning they show only light where with most details still sharp and clear, are quite rare. That rarity is one of the big reasons this coin is valued so highly. Condition matters a lot in coin collecting. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from poor to uncirculated. An extra-fine coin is one that has been used, but still retains most of the original detail. You can see the design clearly, the edges are still well-defined, and there aren't major dents or heavy scratches. That makes these coins attractive to collectors and dealers, who value them much more than coins that are heavily worn. Now let's talk about the market. The auction market is where coins like this find their true value because it reflects what real buyers are willing to pay. In recent auctions and online sales listings, 2007 Greek 20-euro-cent coins in extra-fine circulated condition have been selling for around $300. That's more than 1,500 times their face value, which is an incredible markup and a great example of how numismatic demand can transform something common into something valuable. So what should you look for if you think you might have one of these coins? First, inspect the coin carefully. Check the Greek national side, make sure the fine details of the design are still visible. In extra-fine condition, you'll notice that the high spots of the design show some light wear, but overall the images and lettering are still crisp. Compare it to reference photos from trusted sources or past auction listings. Even small differences in detail can make a big difference in value. Another key point is to look for any unusual characteristics that might make your coin even more attractive. Sometimes slight variations in minting, minor errors, or unique toning can catch a collector's eye. However, be cautious. Cleaning a coin, damaging it, or handling it roughly can significantly reduce its value. If you think you have a valuable coin, handle it with gloves or place it in a protective holder right away. Once you've identified a potential candidate, consider getting it professionally graded. Professional grading services examine coins and assign an official condition grade that buyers trust. A coin that's certified in extra-fine condition often brings a higher price at auction than one that's uncertified, because buyers feel more confident in what they're purchasing. Another thing to understand is that values fluctuate. While $300 is a strong current market figure for this coin in extra-fine condition, auction results can change based on trends, collector interest, economic conditions, and new discoveries of additional examples. That's why if you're thinking about selling, it's always a good idea to check the latest auction results so you know what the market is paying right now. If you do own this coin, it's a great feeling knowing that what might have once been ordinary pocket change could actually be a hidden treasure. Many collectors have stories of finding a valuable coin in a jar of loose change or in old collections handed down from family, and this is exactly that kind of find, unexpected and exciting. Before we wrap up, let's reflect on what this all says about coin collecting. The hobby isn't just about old coins from ancient times. Even modern coins can become valuable when the right conditions align: limited surviving examples, strong collector demand, and attractive condition. Next coin. The 2009 Greek 20-euro-cent coin in circulated extra-fine condition that is currently commanding about $500 in today's auction market. That's right, a coin that originally had a face value of just 20 euro cents has become a sought-after collector's item worth hundreds of dollars. Whether you're a beginner collector, a hobbyist who loves coins, or someone who just stumbled upon this coin in your pocket change, this video will break everything down in clear, easy-to-understand terms. Imagine you're sorting through some old coins and you find a 2009 Greek 20 cent. At first glance, it looks like any other euro coin, small, familiar, and something you might have spent or passed on to someone else. But for collectors around the world, this specific issue from Greece has become something special. Its value has climbed steadily in the auction market, and now high-quality examples in extra-fine condition are selling for around $500. So what makes this coin so special? Why is it worth so much more than its original value? To understand that, let's talk about what collectors look for and what makes a coin valuable beyond its face value. Coins are graded on a scale that reflects their condition. A coin in extra-fine circulated condition means it has definitely been used, but it still maintains most of its original detail. The high points of the design might show some light wear, and there may be small marks or minor scratches from circulation. But overall, the major design elements, the lettering, the relief, the imagery, are still sharp and appealing. That combination of preserved detail and visible use is what coin collectors call extra fine, and coins in this condition are more desirable than heavily worn examples. The 2009 Greek 20 euro cent is not just any coin, it represents a specific issue from the early years of euro circulation in Greece. What happened over time is that many of these coins were spent, worn down, lost, or melted for scrap. Very few survived in higher conditions, especially after more than a decade of circulation. Collectors began to notice that the number of nice, well-preserved 2009 Greek 20-cent coins was much lower than expected. That scarcity drove interest and led to competitive bidding among collectors who wanted to add one to their collection. Now let's talk about the auction market. That's where real prices are made. Unlike price guides or speculative estimates, auction results reflect what buyers are actually willing to pay. In recent sales on reputable platforms and specialized collector auctions, extra-fine 2009 Greek 20 euro cent coins have been closing at prices around $500 in US dollars. That means someone was willing to spend $500 on a coin that once spent time in circulation and may have passed through dozens of hands. To understand why that happens, think of it like any other collectible. People value scarcity, historical interest, visual appeal, and condition. When a coin is both scarce in high grades and attractive to look at, it becomes a target for collectors. Those collectors are often willing to outbid one another to secure the best examples. So what should you look for if you think you might have one of these coins? First, examine the coin carefully. The Greek national side should show the design details clearly, lettering that is still legible, relief that hasn't been overly flattened by wear, and no major scratches or damage that distract from the overall look. A coin in extra fine condition will show some light wear on the high spots, but you should still be able to appreciate most of the original artistry. It's also important to compare your coin to reference photos from past auction listings. Do the details match up? Does your coin look as sharp as the ones that sold for high prices? Pay attention to the date, minting features, and general appearance. If you believe you have a high-quality example, consider getting it professionally graded. A professional coin grading service will assign an official condition grade that buyers trust. A certified grade backed by experts can make a big difference when you're trying to sell. Coins that are graded and encapsulated usually bring higher prices at auction than uncertified coins. Keep in mind that coin values can change over time. While $500 is a strong current indicator for the 2009 Greek 20 euro cent in extra fine condition, market trends, collector interest, and new discoveries of additional coins can influence prices. That's why if you're thinking about selling, it's always a good idea to check the latest auction records and recent sales results. If you do own this coin, that's a pretty exciting find. What might have once been pocket change could actually be a valuable numismatic treasure. Many collectors have stories of finding valuable coins in jars of loose change or in old collections handed down through generations. You never know where a rare coin might turn up or how much it might be worth. As we wrap up, the story of the 2009 Greek 20 euro cent coin is a great example of how modern coins can become highly collectible. Next coin. The 2002 Greek 20 euro cent coin in circulated dusty fine condition, and how in today's auction market a top example of this coin, especially if it's a rare variety or error, can bring around $500 US. You heard that right, $500 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 20 cents, and that most people think of as ordinary pocket change. But the world of numismatics is full of surprises, and this coin has become a fascinating example of how condition, rarity, and collector demand can create real value. Imagine for a moment you're sorting through an old coin jar, and you pull out a 2002 Greek 20-cent piece. At first glance it might look unremarkable. The design you see on screen is the one that was issued when euro coins were first introduced in Greece in 2002, featuring national imagery surrounded by the classic European stars and the denomination. The coin is made of Nordic gold, has a smooth edge with notches, and millions were minted that year. Under normal circumstances, this coin is a very common circulation piece, and most examples you'll find are worth only face value or a couple of dollars at most because the official mintage for 2002 was in the hundreds of millions. But what really drives this coin's value higher in today's market, especially up toward that $500 mark, is when you look at specific high-interest variants, collector demand, and condition. A coin in dusty fine condition might show signs of real circulation light scratches, surface dust, and some wear on the design, but if it still maintains readability and integrity, and especially if there's a rare feature or error, collectors will pay attention. One of the key elements in the collector market is rarity and condition. Coins that have survived over 2 decades with recognizable features and minimal damage become increasingly scarce as time goes on. Most 2002 Greek 20-cent coins have been spent, lost, or heavily worn, so a coin that still shows its date clearly, has good rims, and no major damage is already more desirable than a typical circulated example. Add to that the possibility of an unusual die variation, mint mark variant, or historical interest, and suddenly you're not just holding pocket change, you're holding something sought after by serious numismatists. Now let's talk about that $500 figure. In the real world, typical values for common 2002 Greek 20-euro-cent coins in circulated grades are modest, usually just a few cents above face value because the coin is very common and most examples are worn, but on auction platforms and collector marketplaces, coins with exceptional eye appeal, historical significance, or noted varieties can command much higher prices. Auction results often reflect what real buyers are actually willing to pay at the moment, and some rare or highly desirable 2002 Greek 20-cent coins in circulated but attractive condition have seen listings and bids approaching or around $500 in this video. We're exploring exactly how that happens and what makes a coin worth that much. Eurocoin's catalog. A dusty fine coin is one that's clearly been used. You can see evidence of circulation, there's surface dust, and the high points of the design are a bit softened, but the details are still intact and pleasing to a collector's eye. That means you can read the date, the lettering, and the national design elements without difficulty. Collectors distinguish between coins that are simply worn out and those that are pleasantly circulated, and that difference in visual appeal can have a huge impact on value. But before you start thinking every 2002 Greek 20-cent is worth hundreds of dollars, here's the reality. Not every coin fetches that price. The cases where coins reach prices around $500 are usually when they've been recognized as rare variants, presented well in auctions, graded by an expert service, or picked up by a buyer who values it for their specific collection. Auction prices fluctuate, and often sellers list coins at high prices hoping to find a buyer willing to pay a premium, but what really matters is the actual realized sale price, not just the asking price. Professional grading and careful presentation are two of the biggest factors that can help a coin achieve a high result at auction. So if you think you might have a 2002 Greek 20-euro-cent coin that looks nicer than average, even if it's dusty or shows wear, here's what you should do. First, examine the coin closely with good lighting. Look at the date, lettering, and national design elements. If the coin still has crisp detail and attractive surface despite circulation marks and dust, it might be more interesting to collectors than you expect. Then consider comparing it to recent auction results online to see what similar coins have actually sold for, not just listed at. And if you really want to pursue maximum value, you can have it professionally graded and encapsulated by a trusted coin grading service. Certified coins often sell for significantly more because buyers trust the grade and condition. The story of the 2002 Greek 20-euro-cent coin is a perfect example of why coin collecting is such an exciting and rewarding hobby. What seems like ordinary pocket change can turn into something collectible when you understand the history, the market, and what collectors really look for. A dusty fine coin might look humble at first, but with the right qualities and the right buyer, it can be worth hundreds of dollars in today's auction market.